So, a very practical formula for you to actually achieve everything that you want in your life. Okay. First, you need to become conscious of the thing that you actually want. You need to select a potential that excites you. Think of the biggest dream. Okay. So, you've selected that idea consciously. That is your conscious mind. You know, that's like the captain of the ship. You know what you want from a conscious standpoint. Okay, but now your deeper mind has to take care of it as well, has to be convinced of that. That's why you need repetition, faith, which is feeling, and expectancy, which is actually when you convince yourself and you stay in that state of expectation, knowingness, and more knowingness and more knowingness and more knowingness, right? So select what you want and now teach your nervous system to surrender to it until it normalizes it, until it actually believes in it. And when you believes in it, then you convince yourself of it, then you're destined to it. Because all you've done all your life was programming yourself to be convinced of something. And when you're convinced of something that is who you are. And who you are is what you achieve, right? It's everything that you achieve. So you need to understand how the mind works, the fact that you can, through your conscious mind, select the most beautiful and exciting and ideal potential there is. You need to get used to writing these things down, right? Breaking them up to actually discovering the things that you actually want, becoming familiar with that consciously, okay? And then through repetition, feeling, faith, knowingness, building that knowingness and expectancy. Really, really, the phrase seek and you shall find. That is it. Through the it's through a higher potential, you influence a lower potential. Through something you can imagine in your mind, you can manifest it physically. If you only choose the right signal for you, in other words, something that really excites you, an ideal, most beautiful scenario, a perfect dream life. You describe that in a piece of paper, you know, and then you start becoming familiar with those feelings. Sometimes we want something, but we only want it consciously. We haven't taken the time. It hasn't settled in our nervous system yet. So the mind is saying one thing, but the body is not accepting it. The mind is saying one thing, but the body is not surrendering to it. It's not normal to the body. That's why affirmations feel empty. Visualization feels empty because it's only 50% of the path, right? You need to select the idea and you need to become extremely familiar with it. You need to embody it. You need to become that idea. It needs to be who you are. So influencing the subconscious mind, which is actually how your body feels about that idea, how your nervous system responds to those ideas. That is the imagine the conscious mind as being the electrical charge that sends the signal, and the subconscious mind, your body, is the magnetic charge that brings those things back to you. When you imagine something, you're not really imagining with your body. If you think of your dream life, that image, it's not really found in the brain, because we can take the brain and we're not going to find that image. It's not going to You're not going to find the photo of your perfect home and your perfect life inside of your brain. No, so you're literally creating these images and summoning these ideas from the ether, from an invisible field. That's what you're doing. From that invisible field, you select the highest potential. Now it has to translate more into the physicality, physical form. So you need to add feeling and sensation and faith, the certainty of things not seen, right? And expectancy, and becoming extremely familiar with that idea. And when you embody it, now your entire perception of the world, interpretation of the world, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, the way you operate, everything changes. And the opportunities that come to you are also changing. The people that you cross paths with, the situations that you're involved in, the events in your life, the circumstances, everything starts changing according to your nervous system, according to your new belief, right? Your new destiny now. Your beliefs are the only thing that matter. Your beliefs are your destination. Your beliefs, but by influencing the electrical and then the magnetic charge, you're expanding the your soul field that is up to, I think is like 9 meters wide, and you start influencing reality all around you. The way you look at everything changes. The energy that you emanate changes. The people that are magnetized towards you change. You gravitate. You become like a gravitator of the amazing things that you want, right? So if you think of a dream life, but that idea doesn't feel good, is only because you still need to convince yourself more of it, right? And that's it. That process repeats itself throughout your existence nonstop, and you will achieve everything that you want. Just start with the conscious, and convince your subconscious of it, and repeat that process, and see your life change, be like in front of your eyes. Think of this: repetition, repeating to yourself, and thinking repeatedly about the ideas and the life that you actually want, becoming extremely conscious of that. Every thought that crosses your mind should be aligned with your greater ideal, optimal, perfect, dreamlike vision. Every single thought that comes to your head. And all of those thoughts, they need to be translated into feelings. You need to actually live in that atmosphere. And when you create that different atmosphere, you're actually creating a different field around you. And now that's your entire experience. That's your entire existence. That is going to be your results. That is going to be your destination, both the process and the destination. So you have magic in your hands as we speak in real time. Don't accept anything but your dream life vision. Don't accept anything but your dream beliefs. How do you expect to become that dream person, to have that dream life, if you're not extremely conscious to those ideas? How can you become that if you're not that? How can you experience that if your mind is not there? How can you experience that if your emotions, your nervous system doesn't even hasn't even normalized that idea in the first place? That would be just a contradiction, right? It's like, how can the tree grow without planting the seed, without a seed being in there, without the soil, without the water? Your highest potentials imaginable are available to you. You put them all in a piece of paper. You become extremely aware of them. You get excited with that idea, and you start embodying that day by day. If you truly want something, then why not making it your life's mission? If you truly want something, if you truly have a true desire in your heart, why not making your life about that? Why entertaining things in your mind that are not compatible to that go against that disencourage you, that make you feel more scarce than abundant, right? You need to become extremely familiar with it. You add a whole lot of feeling and embodiment to it. You dive into absolute faith towards your vision. You become it and you expect it. You reach a point of certainty, you reach a point of knowingness, and that is bound to come to you. And that way you become more of who you are, more and more and more and more. And this is your only option. This is how we actually live that dream life. It's in our hands. We can make the magic happen. Stop identifying with thoughts that don't serve you and don't serve the ultimate image of what you want. Write all the scenarios of who you are ultimately and ideally on a piece of paper. Become extremely aware of those ideas. And through repetition, feeling, faith, knowingness, and certainty and expectancy, little by little, you'll achieve those things.